Thank you so much for staying tuned to Channels Television. Welcome to Health Matters. I am Yomi Otaigbe. We all know about child locks and car seats for the safety of our children. But there's one important safety for children that sometimes some people overlook, and that is immunization. Today we'll be talking about the importance and benefits of immunization to children. And I have with me in the studio the Assistant State Immunization Officer for Lagos State, Mrs. Juliana Okonlawon. Thank you so much for being with us.
You're welcome.
I said people, when it comes to safety of the children in the car, we remember car seats, we remember child locks. What happens when it comes to immunization?
Before now, people don't really appreciate the importance of immunization. But lately, it's like the awareness is more now. So people are responding. But we still want people to continue to embrace the taking of the vaccine, the immunization for their children. Normally, we advise mothers or the caregivers that they should allow their children from day 1 to age 5 to take immunizations. And the importance of these immunizations is that it's very important for these children to be immunized, because if a child is fully immunized, that child will be safe for life. And the immunization we give to these children is mostly to prevent the childhood illnesses. And majorly, there are 5.
Okay, before we go into that, when we talk of vaccination, immunization, is there a difference? Tell us about vaccination, immunization.
The immunization is the act of vaccinating or of injecting the vaccines into the children. While the act of vaccination or the vaccination is when the child is actually take the vaccine and when the child is fully immunized. That is, the child has taken the whole course, the whole doses, the doses of the required immunization under the age of 1.
Okay, so what's contained in that vaccine?
Okay, like I said, we have BCG, which protects the child against tuberculosis, and it is given at birth or before the child is 2 weeks. And also we have HBV, that is hepatitis B vaccine. This one protects the child against hepatitis infection, and it's also given before at birth or before the child is 2 weeks. Also OPV0, which protects the child against poliomyelitis. Aside this, we give OPV1 and Penta1. This is given to the child at the age of 6 weeks. And after that, the child takes the one for 14 weeks, which is OPV1 and OPV2 and Penta2. And the next one is at 16 weeks. This child takes this vaccine again, OPV3 and Penta3. And the next one is Mixus, which is given to the child at the age of 9 months. And yellow fever vaccine too is given at 9 months. Also, the child can be given vitamin A at 6 months, or that particular time that the child is being brought to the health facility to take the measles vaccine and the yellow fever vaccine. And this the Penta encompasses 5 types
yes,
of...
I was going to say that you should explain this pentavalent vaccine.
The Penta encompasses the 5 types of immunizations. This is, we call one HIP, that is Haemophilus influenza type B vaccine. And we have DPT, which is that HIP protects the child against Haemophilus influenza type B. And we have DPT, that one protects the child against diphtheria, whooping cough, and tetanus. And we have hepatitis B. So that makes the 5 injections, the vaccines in the Penta.
So it makes it like less cumbersome and reduces the time that mothers have to come back and come back.
And it even reduces the pain of the injection. You know, formerly when we were giving it separately, that child has to take the 5 doses differently. That is giving the injection at different times, and it even reduces the time factor, and the pain to the child too is reduced.
Okay. Okay, so that's for the pentavalent. Now, you said the measles is taken at 9 months?
Yellow fever.
And yellow fever. Okay, now let's go back to BCG, which you say must be given at birth.
Or before
What
the child
does
is
it
2
prevent
weeks.
the child from having?
I said it earlier. I said it prevents the child against tuberculosis.
Okay. So does that mean that after that immunization, the child is,
Normally, when we give the child the BCG vaccine, we expect the child's body to react by bringing about
a kind of lump?
a lump at the injection site, which may turn out to form a sort of sore. Some people call it boil, which may at the end of the day leave a scar. So when it happens like that, it's a kind of telling us that the child is actually responding to that immunization, that the immunization is actually working on that child.
So if it doesn't happen like that?
If it doesn't happen like that, we ask the mother to bring the child back so that we will revaccinate.
Okay, so that means if the child doesn't come out with any kind of bomb at the site or a scar, that means the vaccine may not have worked.
Yes. So we'll tell the mother, the caregiver, to bring the child back so that we'll revaccinate.
And if that child has been given the BCG, is it confers live immunity?
Yes.
Against TB?
The TB, yes.
Okay. Now, why would the vaccine that you've given, why would it not react the way it should?
You see, it's individual differences. At times, it may be given deep down into the muscle, whereas it's supposed to be given under the skin. We call it subcutaneous. So in that way, the body may not react. So we have to be sure that the child is actually immunized against this TB. That's why we say, okay, after 4 weeks, we repeat.
Okay, would that also explain that a child who has been immunized against measles, you still see that some of them still come down with measles?
It is possible, but it lessens the complications to the child. You see, Nigeria of today, because of this climatic change, the temperature is too high, and this virus travels when there is the temperature is at climax. So the children do come or break down with measles. But if a child has been vaccinated against measles before, the effect on the child is lessened because the body is already having antibody against that particular virus. So though the child may be having measles, but the complications may not be there.
Okay.
So
now let's talk about routine immunization, which I know that is what every officer like you would preach. Let's talk about routine immunization. How important is this? Because some parents would wait until the time that it's immunization plus days.
What we normally tell the caregivers now is that they should not wait until the immunization plus days, because during immunization plus days that we call campaign, during campaign we only give OPV, and that is just one out of the whole lot, and it will not confer a lifelong immunity on the children. So that is why we come to the media houses and we go on television, on radio, even the awareness campaign on the streets, that the mothers or the caregivers should embrace the act of immunization, because during campaign we don't carry about the injectables. It's only the OPV we carry about, and that is just one out of the whole lot. So now we have been preaching to mothers that they should please take all these immunization activities serious, because it is said, like from 23rd April to 29th April, they are going to have this African Vaccination Week. This is just to create more awareness in the populace or in the caregivers, to let them see the importance of giving their children immunization. Because the slogan of that African Vaccination Week is a vaccinated community, it's a healthy community. And the theme for this year is vaccination a shared responsibilities for all. That is, we should all embrace the act of vaccination and make sure that all the children are fully vaccinated. And this vaccination to the child is just 5 visits to the health facility to make the child have a full dose of the immunization. That is, for the child to be fully immunized, it takes just the mother just 5 visits to the health facilities, and the mother can be rest assured that for life the child is fully immunized, and the fear of the child dying young will not be there. And once the child is immunized, the body resistance is high. If at all the bacteria infect the child's body, it will not be able to overpower
the effects
child.
that would have had if the child is
yes,
not immunized.
Because the child is fully immunized, and the fear of the child dying young will not be there again.
Okay, and you talked about mothers, coming, bringing the children for immunization. Sometimes I've seen fathers too.
Yes, we even encourage fathers, because in most cases, when you leave it to the mothers alone, you find out that the fathers might kick against it. Now we encourage both parents, the mother and the father, to really come together, because most times when you talk to the mothers, they will tell you that their husband is not in support of it. But thank God, majority are seeing the reasons why the children should be immunized, so they are responding, except for few, like the religious extremists. Now that when you say let them immunize their children, they still kick against it. So that is why we come to the media, to the television, to the radio houses, to let them know the importance of these children, because a missed child, that is a child that is not immunized, is have the power to infect about 250.
It's a risk to others.
It's a risk to others.
Okay.
Because by the time they start playing about, you cannot segregate. You cannot say, okay, don't play with this, play with this. So that is why we are saying we should join hands together. Let everybody embrace immunization. Let all the children be fully immunized, so that we can have a safety and healthy Nigeria.
Okay, and we'll just take a break now. And when we come back, we'll still be talking more about the importance and benefits of immunizing your child. Just stay with us on the program.